the mic, spinning tales of space and fright, dragon breathing fire in the night, comic panels bursting bright. The first, the last, the Nerdom, where the weirdos all belong. The first, the last, the Nerdom, shouting loud and singing strong. Slasher flicks and laser beams, alien queens and mutant dreams. They're the kings of geek extremes. Venom's crowd bursting at the seams. Fantasy freaks, sci-fi geeks, horror heads, we're the beats. The first, the last.
Welcome back to The First, the Last, the Nerdom, the podcast where we explore the best, the bizarre, and this binge-worthy corners of nerd and pop culture. And this week, we're back with another installment of our series we like to call Binge-worthy. Here's how it works. We pick a TV show we love or are curious about, watch the first 3 episodes, and decide, once and for all, is it binge-worthy or not? It is an instant addiction or one and done. And this week, we're diving headfirst into a show that's a part absurdist comedy. It is very much that. I love that. Part theatrical meltdown and 100% bizarre brilliance. The British cult hit Toast of London, created and starring Matt Berry as Stephen Toast, a washed-up, self-important actor with a voice made for Shakespeare and a career stuck in second-rate soap operas. Toast of London is a surreal journey through the world of ego, voiceover work, failed auditions, and increasingly strange encounters in a twisted version of London's entertainment scene. They're Hollywood. Hoo-ah. Over 3 episodes, we've already met a bizarre agent, unhinged flatmates, rival actors, and the unforgettable Clem Fandango. Yes, we can hear you, Clem. We're asking, is this show's mix of deadpan madness and theatrical chaos enough to hook us? So warm up your vocal cords and prepare to overact dramatically and step into the strange spotlight, because this week's on Binge-worthy, we're toasting Toast of London, only on FirstLastNerdom. Tom,
Slim Fandango here. Can you hear me?
Tom, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! You got me again with this one. We did League of Gentlemen, which blew up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Love it, and we both committed to revisiting it at some point for a longer form farming of that content, because I love it. But then we went to the Mighty Boosh because, of a stupid ass meme that I had found when I was in the service, that we shared amongst ourselves, like when data is limited and word of mouth is everything. The Mighty Boosh, and that was different than, they were very different shows. They have this strain of absurd comedy and another layer of fiction on there, whether it's horror or, you could argue horror, but you don't think of these things being so close. But this was by far, it was, to be fair, it was done 10 years later than those two, in the 2010s, and it has polish, it has gravitas, it has Matt Berry. I love Matt Berry. If you are a true blue of us, you know that we both, Tom, again, infected me with What We Do in the Shadows, the movie and the show. And we have not done enough justice to that. So look out for a special miniseries and extra bonus content that we'll make going forward. But holy shit, I've been hogging the mic here, but I was so happy with this. And once again, I went beyond the 3 episodes because I couldn't stop watching. It's new to me. And when you get something like that and it's new and fresh, you can't help but wonder at it and love it. So Tom, tell me, how did this come to be? Where did this come from?
Right. Well, it comes from Matt Berry and the co-writer on the show, author, I forget his last name, but yeah, it's highly enjoyable comedy series. I was a huge Matt Berry fan, starting with IT Crowd. IT Crowd is probably where a lot of these guys I first get introduced to them. But Matt Berry He's their boss in IT Crowd. The second boss, the first boss, something happens to that guy, and he comes in, and Matt Berry, he does, he's sort of like, um he's very similar, I think, in aspects to Danny McBride. Danny McBride's sort of like the American version, and Matt Berry's like the original, much better version. I love Danny McBride, but Matt Berry has a special place in my heart. They both play these kind of larger than life characters,
Right.
mostly larger than life in their own mind. And then everybody else is dealing with reality, and know that they're not as grandiose as they think they are, but in their minds they are. And so that's the kind of character Matt Berry plays. And not to say he plays the same character in every role he does, but he does play kind of variations off of that character.
Right.
That character is very much present in IT Crowd. And then this one, and then what we do in the shadows, there's very similar aspects to the characters in each, but again, they're very much their own characters. And this, he plays Stephen Toast, which, he's an actor, poking fun. Matt Berry, along with some of the best comedians out there, they don't take themselves seriously. They know how to poke fun of themselves. He's been an actor for a very long time, and this sort of pokes fun at the British actor, and all the foibles that comes with that. Well, you don't see a lot. You would think with actors, being actors and being in that world, you would see more comedies, movies about acting and about poking fun at that, because it seems like such a rich environment that you could get a lot out of. But I would think that a lot of actors maybe are a little full of themselves, or are kind of hesitant to make fun of themselves. But Mayor Bear does not have that issue. He can can mind the depths of the comedy that springs from an egomaniac type actor. Again, this is Stephen Toast is, again, the legend of Stephen Toast is maybe a little bit larger in his mind than it is outside his world. And but he makes his way without popping the bubble on his ego.
No, he
The world tries its hardest to pop it.
well, and that's the thing, like where he just plays this perfectly. He like this whole yeah, and you dig it, you buy into it because, and it's like I say polished because, earlier in the 2000s it was a different time, but 10 years later, you have Matt Berry and this production that you see, and like I love how it does. I love how it. You just don't spend any. You don't waste any time. You're like right into it. Like you're like,
You
oh,
know
oh,
immediately who he is.
right. From the British, puns and mispronunciations of words and dry humor.
Yeah.
I mean, to literally making fun of their family being, oh, whoa, we're dry toast. Like not that we have no humor about us whatsoever because we're British. Like as a wink and a nod to like his brother who is some kind of a fake, appendage, whatever. But
Mhm.
like this works so well for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Again,
and Matt Berry has ties to our last show, Mighty Bush, because
yep,
he plays their boss
right, I,
in the Mighty Bush. Again, an
right,
overinflated ego type
yeah,
character,
and
but it has a much more sinister vibe than, say, Stephen Toast.
yeah,
But
and I know I remember when we worked together. I remember you talking about the IT crowd. I remember
hmm
mentioning it,
hmm
and I didn't know what was what like, oh yeah, years later, oh yeah, I kind of remember somebody talking about that. I just never fell into it. I'm totally open to it to now because it's like different time period, but and especially
hmm
because I have connected tissue with these people, and you start to put A to B
Yeah.
to C to D to Z, and then you have a
hmm
complete wonderful library of new content that you've never
hmm
experienced before, and it is very very rewarding. And oh man, it reminded me of so many different things, like in the movie and in the What We Do in the Shadow, like his other characters he's done. It
Mhm.
reminds me like and including the Mighty Boosh as well. But and we didn't really go too in depth on that one. That's one that we can do, but I think we are
Mhm.
secretly junky BBC comedy fans.
Oh,
And again,
I wear the British flag very proud
well,
for the humor.
I'm very grateful for you, my friend, because like I would not be aware of these things had were it not for us doing this thing that we do. But it
Mhm.
obviously that's a strong recommend. But so this had a few like I guess how many did it go? What was the response
All
to
right,
it?
so
Like
uh
what was the set the scene, the environment we're in here in 2012, which wasn't all that
yeah,
long ago,
yeah,
but
no, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's created by Matt Berry. Again, a lot of his other shows, he's sort of like the secondary character, or but this one is very much his own creation. He co-created it. Again, let me see if I can find his name. But yeah, I found the series because Arthur Matthews is who he co-created it with. But yeah, the I was big into Matt Berry, and I was kind of looking at in the 2010s. I didn't get into it right at when it came out, but about the mid 2010s, I was getting back into British stuff. Found myself on Amazon UK and was hungering for some British humor, and I found the box
oh,
set. I
because a
saw
big
that
big
yeah. I saw that Matt Berry had his own show. I think this was probably around 2015 or 16. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a no-brainer. I have to have it. I was already a fan of him from the IT crowd, from Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. I had to get it. So yeah, this has the first two seasons. I say seasons, but again, in
series.
Britain it's series. So we are aware that they're called series. So if we call it seasons, don't worry, we know it's properly series, but we're very much dirty Americans, and we'll call it seasons by mistake. But yeah, I also got the third series as well. But yeah, so there was originally the first three series, and I thought that was it as far as that, but I was kind of doing a little research since we're going to be talking about it. I looked on Wikipedia, and in during COVID 2021, I believe, they did a YouTube audio only series, which I haven't heard. And then they did a follow-up series in, I think it's 2022, called Toast of Tinseltown, which I think happens in Hollywood. And I have not seen that series, so
Hmm.
I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's six more episodes of Stephen Toast I get to look forward to. I have not seen that yet, so maybe we'll do a follow-up video on that. But maybe a recap of the whole series three. We've got so many British shows that we want to go through and finish now with this binge worthy. We want the answer to a lot of these is yes, they're binge worthy, and we want to watch all of them again. And again, I've seen the whole series. Man, I don't know how quickly I went through this, but it's sort of like eating you know Pringles potato chips. You can't just eat one. You gotta go with another one. And this series, they're a little bit shorter than what I'm normally used to on British shows. Usually a British show, a comedy show, runs almost 30 minutes, and these are like 20 to 25 minutes a piece. So they're a little bit shorter. So they my only complaint about this show is that the episodes are too short. In each
I
episodes, I want a little bit more. I want a
I
little bit more.
Well, that's exactly what, and this is a sign of the answer. Wink, wink, nod, nod. For the it's in the title. Just elongated so you can't see it when you browse it on mobile or desktop. But it's like essentially it's 20 minutes, right? And I remember you mentioning that, like, oh well, some of these are not necessarily about this series or another one, but like, these ones they're pretty close and tight. And the thing is, before Binge was a thing, like you have this thing, and like this is like proto Binge, and this got me. I didn't quite go all out like I did before, but I did go to episode 5. About I think halfway, and then I had and then we had to go live for our thing. But
Yeah.
the first 3 like go by like nothing, and you kind of don't know what's going on per se, but that's where it draws you in. Like that's the thing, because it's so absurd. It is just like the Mighty Boosh is like very abstract. These are
Yeah, it's sort of a
complementing.
Yeah, I was good.
Some American side of this would be like but a little bit before this would be Andy Samberg and the Lonely Island Boys. The Lonely Island thing, like that was absurd.
Yeah.
Its own kind of didn't fit with SNL whatsoever. But again, Adult Swim would be probably the American version of this, but a little bit. But this is more refined and polished than even what we've covered up to this point, I would say. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. So League of Gentlemen, although we've had people kind of challenge us on it, but it's more kind of situational, sort of a skit, kind of little vignettes of different scenarios, and that adds up to a whole of the town of Royston Vasey, whereas the last one we discussed had a little bit longer form with the Mighty Boosh. It tells like a full story within itself. That's kind of absurd and surreal, and kind of disconnects with reality. Toast of London is much more grounded in reality. It's telling an actor's story, although it does break with reality at times. It is a bit of a musical as well.
No, you're right. Well, it's much more conventional and more of a episodic, adventure that Americans are used to. I would say, like, this is. You may not understand all the ins and outs of the British humor or whatever, blah blah blah, but you're going to understand that, like, there's a set, there's a main character, there's his life, that a slice of life for like a weirdo middle-aged thinking he's better than he is, kind of guy, which makes you like he just goes head first into it beautifully. Oh yeah, please. What was that? 7-Eleven or 7-Up?
7-Up tropical, because when you want comedy you get a little fruity, and I want a little sunshine with your day, but
Toast to that.
but yeah, exactly, but yeah, I love I love every aspect of this. It's again very much British. I could see that. We were talking about how it would be hard to translate Mighty Boosh or League of Gentlemen over to America. You could probably get away with translating this to America,
Yeah.
but you would lose a lot. You would have to adapt it very much to a more American sensibility. You'd lose the British side of things.
Yeah, you would have to do a two for one. You would have to have like the American equivalent, and then you would have to have a unique blend of a comedian that could pull that off. Imagine a Shane Gillis doing a remake of this, but his own version of it. And that could wildly be different. Or some other up and coming. Josh Johnson, for example, like. He would do a completely
I was thinking,
version of this.
Yeah, I was thinking Danny McBride, because he could get away with the middle age kind of thing, and because he already kind of played a similar character in his series Eastbound and Down.
Right. washed up.
Righteous Gemstones.
Right.
Yeah, it's sort of like the guy larger in his head than than what he is in reality. But
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
I would actually argue that Eastbound and Down was the most American equivalent of this. Like it completely
yeah,
different.
it is.
A lot of details
Yeah,
change, but
scenario, but
yeah,
yeah.
no, I agree.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, the
100% on the
world's
money. I agree.
constantly yeah, the world's constantly trying to beat him down, but his ego does kind of keeps his ego's in that troubled water, but it stays afloat, you know. And very much with Stephen Toast. And Stephen Toast is that's that ego, but there's this lovability about him.
Right.
Again with the Danny Bride characters as well. The thing about Matt Berry is he could play this horrendous character, which Stephen Toast is not horrendous. He's just got a big ego. But there's this lovability about him that you could another actor could have made him more smarmy, more dislikable, but Matt Berry knows that right amount of of making him kind of foppish and it's silly to the point where he's never a creep or he's never uh sinister in that aspect. He's
No,
always even when he's electrocuting the director of a theatrical
eh,
play, even though he's killing the guy, you're still on his side.
he also has this kind of side of life of like where Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm, like where there's
Yeah,
the main
yeah,
character,
absolutely.
the protagonist, and like is he an asshole? Yeah, but are the people around him bigger assholes? And
Sure.
the answer is often than
Mhm.
not, yes. Not everyone, but there's somebody that is taking they are taking the full L. They're like that meme, like 1, 2, 3, third place is giving the victory kiss, and it zooms out, it's like your third place. Like that is this meme, like perfectly played out in the British sensibilities, but like
Yeah, and you can't subtract from his supporting cast, one of which being that mustache, that a very strong mustache that he
legendary.
Stephen Toast
I'm
has. And yeah, and Matt Berry usually goes with a full beard, but yeah, he said that during the filming of it, when he had that mustache, he didn't get out much because he didn't want to be out in public with that mustache in his personal life, but
Yeah.
which helped him focus on the character. But,
Well,
I found that a little humorous.
I will say I am tempted to play to dress as him for Halloween. Maybe I'll,
Yeah.
what we do in the shadows would probably be better for that. But his,
Yeah.
his character on What We Do in the Shadows is a little bit more ground down and lower down than this one. This one sticks out more with the trademark, the
Yeah.
swoosh and
Yeah.
the
Mhm. Yeah.
ego.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to enjoy his like his roommate there is very much an interesting character in and of himself. You also have his a rival, Bloody Ray Purchase, and you have so, he does. There's usually like he's usually doing voiceover work at the beginning of an episode, and he's harassed by the inimitable Clem Fandango,
Right,
much to his chagrin.
right.
Which we didn't get introduced to Clem Fandango until the second episode, but he does make a, a very good antagonistic role with him. And then there's Bloody Ray Purchase, which we are introduced to somewhat briefly in
Right.
the first episode.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. It
the
is
the Ray Purchase is played by a different actor, but he kind of remind me a little bit of the one of the main leads in Mighty Boosh, Julian Barrett. He looks a little similar to him.
well. This is where the show gets really weird. In the best possible way. Like the first few episodes begin or shortly thereafter, like he's doing voiceover work, like you mentioned, in a recording
Mhm.
studio supervised by like these increasingly hipster audio engineers. Clem Fandango is one, and Danny Bear, and Clem becomes this legendary, character because of one catchphrase. Like, "Hi, Steven, this is Clem Fandango. Can you hear me?"
Yes, I can bloody hear you.
right. Yeah, that's
And there's a reoccurring thing. Also, another lovely character is his agent, Jane Plaug, I think is her name,
right.
the character name. Which the actress plays older. Actually, I said in one of the commentaries, they said that she wears sort of a neck thing that makes her look like she's in her 60s, which they commend her for
Oh,
because
for the agent.
yeah, the agent,
Yeah.
because they don't. Most actresses don't want to play older, than what they are, but yeah, she does it beautifully in this,
Right.
and but yeah, I enjoyed the that character,
Well,
and then their interplay with Stephen Toast
well,
is quite lovely.
and it's funny because you hear about the voiceover work for the nuclear submarine, and it's kind of like whatever, and there's kind of like small little whistles to it throughout the thing, like like there's people that want to do him harm, that are serious, like, and there's a very tense scene that we might get into, but he plays it with a plum, and like you mentioned back, that into that confrontation is like him kind of seeing this thing of like this thing and reusing it again, like when he gets the shit beat out of him, and he's like this fanatic guy who is like a pure thespian, everything has to be a certain kind of thing, and like, oh, by the way, here's the Blue Falcon who's gonna buddy fuck him, a couple times, but it's just it plays into the story, and it just draws you in more, like, as absurd as that sounds, like what the hell are they talking about, like, that's the beautiful part about this thing, like, he's way more of a sympathetic character because you just can't help but root for him,
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, like you said, the absurd, crazier characters around him, you
right.
can't help but
There's always
root
somebody
for
who's
this guy.
just the asshole who takes the outside lane of like going around even the
Yeah.
most absurd part of him, and
Yeah. Yeah.
like
And
I wish I was born in Britain, to experience to really get the full effect of this, because I know I'm missing something. Like, there's a little bit about canals.
if you remove the C,
Well, it's very much a sexual, double entendre for sure. Like this, quite obvious. But like then they throw shopping carts. Like, I guess that's like a British thing. Like, but living in America, in St. Louis, like you wouldn't question that. If somebody was going to be a hooligan like that, you wouldn't question it. Again, that kind of goes like to like, okay, like Shane Gillis does tires and Pennsylvania, and you accept it. Like you kind of get that these type of people are going to throw batteries at people.
Yeah.
for the opposing team or whatever, whatever's going on in town.
Yeah, and I love that the things get a little crazier in this show. It kind of gets larger than life, but
Right.
it's very much grounded in very human relationships and things that spring up. Like with the first episode, he's meets this lady that's interviewing him, and they kind of hit it off. And in
Quite
any relationship, you start
quite
you kind of
purposefully
gloss
too, as well.
yeah, you kind of gloss over those bad aspects of the person that you're meeting for the first time and kind of building a relationship with. You may kind of gloss over some of the things that you dislike about the about the person. It's very much grounded in reality. You don't normally meet a person that, like you said, throws shopping carts over into the canal. And,
Well,
has all these alcoholic. Well,
Well,
you can't run into
these
those, but yeah.
Tom, I have to interrupt you. These things come in threes, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, and are a hoarder.
Well,
Yeah, the hoarder, the whole scene with her in her house,
right,
her being a
and
hoarder,
being stuck
just
like
had me
Winnie
on
the
the
Pooh,
floor laughing,
right, right. Well,
had me
and
rolling with laughter.
well, and to go back to that though, too,
Mhm,
like there's the backdrop that you kind of forget as you learn, but Toast is an asshole too, right? He is literally
mhm.
sleeping with the wife of his longtime rival. like
Great patience.
and then it gets dropped that he is truly mid-season in everything he's doing in his career, in his
Mhm.
marriage, and where he's at. Like he's just kind of like not top of the heap, but he's not bottom of the
Mm-mm.
heap either. But he can see himself. It's
Mhm.
every egotistical aspect that he can do to kind of find somebody to kind of step on top of and keep climbing the ladder of.
Mhm. Yeah, and at least with the first series, the constant in his life though that he has to keep returning to. But I guess to kind of validates him as an actor is this horrible play that he's
Oh
putting
yeah,
on that no one likes. That's very racist, very yeah. Everybody's protesting outside of it.
I love it.
That
Yeah,
seems like his. That seems to be his center. No matter what's going on, he has to make it to the theater. Even though you know for the life of you, you can't imagine why he would still want to be in this play. He obviously probably isn't making that much money on it,
right,
but there's something about this play that kind of compels him. And maybe it's not the play itself; it's the fact that he's in a play, that he's up on stage, and even though people are booing him off the stage, there's this compulsion for him to return to it. So there is meat on the bone for this character that you may just write off as a silly character, but it all works. He's a fascinating character that you want to do more of. And like any classic comedy show, they have those little gems that they keep returning to that you look forward to that pays off every time they return to them. Like the voiceover acting thing with Clem Fandango. You look forward to that for each episode.
well,
There's the thing with the either his agent or somebody mentioning a very famous British actor and like um uh, Benedict Cumberbatch and him going, "Who? Who's this?"
multiple
like he
times in
doesn't know.
episode 3. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know this guy. And then his roommate is always doing something preposterous, like dating a woman that gets plastic surgery that ends up making her look like Bill Forsyth. And then there's the classic Stephen Toast, that character. He's always mispronouncing things in a very theatrical way. Whereas I think they're talking about Bill Forsyth, and he goes, he pronounces it. I probably will do it wrong, but he goes, Bill Forsyth, yeah. He emphasizes maybe the wrong portions of a word, but it really it really kind of enriches his character and
No,
endears you even closer to him.
well, and this is one that is going to cause me to watch it to the ends of the earth because like it is so perfect. You
Mhm,
just have like and I think that you have like as this went on beyond this season or series rather,
mhm,
um,
mhm.
this went on for like a good 10 years, right, or 8 years, right, total.
Well, yeah, with these series, they don't um immediately year after year come out. So there's you do a
Gaps, right?
series and there's some gaps of a few years. So yeah, there's only the original 18 episodes of the three series, and then you have the Toast of Tinseltown, the six more episodes that came out in 2022. But yeah, so the again, it's sort of kind of spaced out. But yeah, unfortunately, you only get. But I think that's to the benefit. I think
Yeah.
a lot of times with American comedies, they're kind of locked in on, especially traditional American comedies. You had 22 episode seasons. So it's hard to keep that comedic pace and writing for 22 episodes. So you're going to have some not so good episodes, some good ones, some great ones. But with the way they do it in Britain, with the very short 6 episode seasons or series, the writing's very tight, very good, and you don't have those bad episodes. You only got 6 chances at this.
Right.
So in they put everything, they cram packed it with everything, and so you're left with wanting more. But if they did do 22 episodes, you may get overstuffed with it. So it's that perfect balance of wanting more but getting the great stuff.
Well, this comedy holds fast to its balls out world. It's propelled.
Sometimes it even grabs you by the balls.
Well, exactly. Well, literally, like it's propelled largely, by the stonking central performance of Matt Berry. I mean, this kind of comes back to him, and like it makes me appreciate and want to rewatch older episodes of things that we've already covered, and hopefully
Yep.
we will cover in depth,
Mhm.
and gratitude for what we got as
Mhm.
part of the audience. But like,
Yeah, and and also I will say one thing that we touched on just briefly is the music of this. Usually each episode ends with a song, a very short 1 minute song. Kind of breaks reality, makes it a little bit absurd, but I love that aspect of the show because Matt Berry, among other things, is a very talented musician. The songs that kind of play out at the end are a bit humorous, but it's not a joke. The songs are very good, have a very good melody, plays for a minute, but you're wanting more. You want more. You want more of Matt Berry's singing and performance. And hey, you know what? He has come out with a few albums. He's very talented. He plays guitar, piano. We'll include this in the links. Matt Berry's a wonderful musician. This site has some of his albums. I truly love some of all of his music. Very, very engaging. In fact, he does do the theme song in the series. And then he writes all of the music within the series as well.
yeah,
But yeah,
I'm glad you found that, and shared it
yeah,
with folks. But
yeah,
um,
yeah. It
that
yeah, he did another show that only lasted I think 6 episodes called Snuff Box, and that one has a lot of music in it as well, and he did the music in that. Again, a wonderful musician.
well,
His music's not quite what I normally listen to,
sure.
but I don't I really love and enjoy it. And he makes me a fan of whatever he does.
Well, and that goes into the beauty of Toast of London. You really should have physical media, for this thing, because even so far back as uh, Matt Berry on YouTube will always be there. Hopefully,
Mhm.
until it starts making money, and then they put a paywall or whatever. But 2021 at Netflix, all these were available on Netflix, and they disappeared. So either you have two options, well, three. Find the digital if you can buy it. If you can't buy it, then better go on Amazon or Arrow or whatever
Mhm.
and go find it, or Barnes and Noble, as a bigger site. But like that's the thing of like, physical media has something to be said for it. I can honestly say in 10 years on YouTube, it might not be that big, but it's going to be around. It's going to be, DVDs, even not even Blu-ray. People that are benefiting, enjoying the content. Anyway, the
Yeah.
London,
Yeah, the physical media is a thing. It's getting to be more of a thing with people getting dissatisfied with not being able to find what they want in streaming, or having getting stuck with watching what the streaming services want you to watch, or having to deal with commercials and all of that crap. Yeah, I belong. There's a physical media group on the dreaded Reddit, and also on Facebook that I enjoy looking at. And people are very excited about their physical media. They'll post, hey, look at my haul this week, and you get to look over. Oh, that's
Well,
cool. Then you got
and
that movie and that movie, and it's
I'll
kind
interrupt.
of a communal sharing.
I'll interrupt
Yeah.
Tom here. If the audience really wants to hear like a version of where to go and what to be a part of, maybe we can make that available as a
Mhm.
addendum to this thing that we do, because
Mhm.
you're gonna want to know how to do this thing anyway, and we might document it anyway. But anyway, go on, Tom. Sorry,
Yeah.
I interrupted you.
No worries. Yeah. I think we did do an episode, but I think it got lost somewhere. But yeah, anytime I can encourage people to get into physical media, that's the thing that I always encourage. But yeah, some people are collectors, and some people aren't. People are different things. But yeah, if you're a collector, a physical in love movies and whatnot, physical media is a great thing to get into, whether or not it's Blu-rays, DVDs, CDs, albums. A lot of people are collecting CDs
Sure.
now, are
Yeah.
getting back into it. A lot of young people as well. It's not just us old people. The younger people are starting to understand the value of collecting things that they love, so that they have that with them. Some people are like to live light and fancy free, and but some people like to collect and get mementos of the things they love. Much like a serial killer likes to collect their 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 little tokens of remembrance. But
Yeah, I think
yeah, no. Mhm.
what
Go
my
ahead.
understanding is, like, I have look forward to a lot of guest appearances in the future for this thing. I did cheat a little bit for research, but I would love to. Well, maybe we'll bring this back, and we'll talk about more than 1 to 3, and we'll do,
Mhm.
again. This goes back to FX, What We Do in the Shadows. So if you love that and you just graduated and you're done, because that show's done, right?
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
they're 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 gone and done, and this is
Mhm.
2025. So if
Mhm.
you want to really appreciate it, you go back to the people who were part of it, and
Mhm.
you mine that out. And I think that
Mhm.
you'll be very, very happy if you do. Very
Yep.
obviously, the recommendation from you, Tom, I would assume it would be a
Yep.
yes. This is binge worthy.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Very partial because I love Matt Berry. He's
well,
possibly my favorite British comedian.
I'll double down
But
on that and say fuck yeah, it
mhm.
is. Yeah, yeah. This is a fuck yeah. We'll put that in the title, maybe. But yeah, this is easier to access to me than the Mighty
Mhm.
Boosh or Legend of Gentlemen.
League of Gentlemen.
Yeah, League. Yeah, thank you. League of Gentlemen.
Mhm.
Had the other Tom Cruise, whatever, on the brain.
You got Legend, our other movie we talked
We
about
just
on our
talked
mind.
about that, like, yeah,
Mhm.
earlier today. Anyway, but
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. This is like, this is easier to digest, and it's just so easy to get into. And like, okay, maybe you're not guffawing at the end of 1 or 2 or 3, but you're going to, like, like it just
Yeah.
like
As
they
as it
the
as he develops the
well,
character, it
I
it
love
gets it
that
gets
the
get
laughs come.
richer and richer.
Well, I love that the
Mhm.
laughs come. Then they're so simple. Like, they're like, he like reads this thing of like, oh well, the Scotch, that's always a funny thing, and it's like, I'm like, that's the first part of the email. And he's like, like, anyway, like, these are
Mhm.
small.
Yep.
The British are small with the
Yep.
guffaws, but they add up quick for sure. Like a more cerebral Austin Powers. Really, I mean,
Yep.
you know,
Uh-huh.
Austin Powers was ostentatious and over the top and very loud.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
Matt Berry, as Stephen Toast, is that guy, but more restrained, I guess. Like, but like
Yeah.
still, like you just didn't know where you were
Yeah.
gonna land, and I love that. I love that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you don't quite know where he's gonna how he's gonna veer off on left of center, but yeah. Also, if you're a big John Hamm fan, John Hamm does come into the series as himself as the actor John Hamm. So
Does he really?
if you're into him, yeah, look forward to that. Yeah,
Give me a little
you
more.
realize that John Hamm has a lot of comedic chops and isn't above making fun of himself as well. So yeah, and this movie this show really kind of embraces kind of not taking yourself too seriously and kind of exploring the aspects of the absurdity that is acting. And also, if you did watch the first three episodes, you might have noticed or might have overlooked the surprise guest appearance on episode 3 of a young Daisy Ridley right before she went on
Hmm.
to do the Force Awakens. She's like the stagehand that he talks to at the end of episode 3. So yeah, if you missed that, double back and take a
I
look at
missed
that.
that.
Yep, there she is. Right for Star Wars blew up in her face.
Right, right, right. Well, I think we covered most of it. What'd
Mhm.
you say, Tom?
Yep, I think so. Yep,
All right.
I think so. It's a like I said, it's a big thumbs up and binge worthy stamp of approval. We need a big stamp that says binge worthy approved.
Fuck yeah. All right. I've been Mike.
And I'm Tom. Damn it, Clem Fandango.